Hi everyone, it's Suzanne the Crazy Blonde, and this is Holly Treadwell, and she owns a great coffee shop in downtown Burlington called the Blending Company. And Holly is going to teach us about
at-home brewing processes.
Yes,
and how to adjust your grind to your at-home brewing process.
I'm excited to learn about this.
Yeah, I'm excited to show you. So we'll get started. I brought a couple different things. I'll introduce everything that I have for you today.
Okay.
First, we're going to go over a single serving Hario 360 pour-over. So this can go right over your mug.
That's handy.
Yeah, it's extremely convenient, easy to do. It looks slightly intimidating, but don't be intimidated. It's actually a really easy process. Then next we're going to go over probably one of the most common at-home brewing processes, which is the French press. It is, once again, very easy. I think once you get to learn these things, they don't seem as complicated as they really are, or they don't seem as complicated as people think they are. So this is a French press. Extremely easy in the sense that it's not as time consuming as a lot of these other ones. You can put the grounds, put the coffee, and then let it sit. And that a lot of people like that for convenience. And then lastly, we're going to do the Chemex, which is beautiful and a really fun presentation. Yeah, for your dinner guest or like a brunch or party. It's really exciting.
Do you have a favorite method, or does the coffee taste differently?
It does. So each different type of brewing process creates a different taste. So yeah, so the pour-over, the Hario 360 single cup pour-over, it really pulls out those undertones. The French press, I think it's just a really good basic, it creates a bolder coffee because the coffee kind of sits in there longer. And then the Chemex really alleviates a lot of those acidic tones or taste within the coffee. It's created the shape and the chemistry of it, hence Chemex, really allows those gas bubbles in the coffee to be alleviated and allows for a smoother taste.
I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. Okay, so we're going to start with the Hario 360 pour-over. This is a single serving. And then we have our filter in here. We've wet it in order to alleviate any fibers and to warm up your mug as well. Okay. Also, just a side note that I choose to use, this is an electric pot. I choose to use a gooseneck. It really helps in the technique of pouring. It alleviates a lot of the weight on the wrist and allows you to have a softer pour or a more consistent pour. I try at home, I use that in the shop, but at home I have a regular pot. And every morning I'm kind of straining to use my wrist. But I would definitely suggest getting a gooseneck if you're really serious about your at-home brewing.
So you put the beans in the mortar and pestle.
Yes.
And now what do we do?
We are going to hand grind it. So I'm going to let you do this. But what we want to do is you want to, have you ever...
I have never used one.
You've never used one of these. Okay, so basically you want to use your wrist movements and use the natural curve of the bowl and then the pressure of the pestle to grind it.
So how finely do they need to be ground?
Okay, so that's a good question. So you want these to be about 16 tired. So and I can take over too. A pour-over, you want a coarser grind.
Okay.
So you want it to be the consistency of breadcrumbs.
So this is a good method for the pour-over, this
yes.
mortar and pestle.
Really, I mean, it kind of just depends on the person. I would suggest any, if you're looking for the best method, it's going to be the electric grinder, just because the consistency, the quickness, but like I said, this is just for entertainment.
And then you can,
then afterwards you can make coffee flavored more. So for the pour over, we have our grounds at about a breadcrumb consistency. We want to do tablespoons. It's an easy at home way to measure your grounds out. It's definitely not the most accurate or consistent, but just to kind of alleviate a little bit of pressure on you at home, tablespoons is a great way.
Okay.
So we want to use 3 tablespoons. And remember, we've already heated our Hario Pour-Over, and put a little bit of water in. And then you're going to put 3 tablespoons. All right, and once we've done that, we can begin to pour over. We are going to take our right at boiling point. So as soon as your water boils, you want to take it off the pot or off the stove and begin to pour. So it's good to pour in the center of your grinds and then begin to circle around. And we are filled there. So it creates this beautiful, I like to say it's a blooming stage. It creates a beautiful bloom of coffee. That's one of my favorite parts of watching
It smells
an at-home brew. Yeah, you get to really experience the coffee in its full glory of brewing, which I love, and then experience the smell as well. Next, we're going to go over the French press, which, as I mentioned before, is one of the most popular at-home brewing processes. It's really nice because it's easy. You can leave it for a period of time, come back to it, and your coffee's ready. Unlike the pour-over the Chemex, where you have to consistently pour. It's a very simple process. So you have your filter. It's also nice because you don't have separate paper filters, so you can think of that as a bit more sustainable and also less mess. And then you put your coffee in and press, and we'll go over that. The grinding process that we're going to use for the French press doesn't mean that it's better, just a different one, is the hand grinder. So a lot of people use this when they're doing outdoor events, take it to work. It's a very good mobile grind way to grind beans. So basically you put your beans inside the grinder here. It's also on a gear system, so it's easy to fix. You don't have to worry about electrical and different things like that, which is really great. And then you need to hand grind. Your beans are going to come out in the bottom. Then do you want to try it?
Sure. Should I set it down?
You can set it down, really any way. Perfect. I like to kind of tilt it and give it a little bit of,
So how do you know? You just grind until it stops.
Keep grinding. Because we filled it, and also this is a great way to grind cinnamon and really any other kind of herbs that you like.
Would you need a separate grinder for it?
I would either get a separate grinder or just thoroughly clean it, which is not difficult to clean at all. I actually have a lot of friends who grind cinnamon this way.
This is good for your arms.
Your triceps then. Gonna work out at the same time. Great. And then I can also show you how you can adjust the grind, because this is like the other grinding methods, you can adjust. So this has a bolt that you can tighten or loosen, and that adjusts your grind.
It's like a pepper mill.
Exactly, just like one. So basically, then we have our grind, and we're going to transfer it to the press. You want to have about 28 grams, 4 tablespoons of coffee. And this grind, if you want to look at that, you see your hand, is the coarsest grind. So that's a larger breadcrumb.
And so would you ever use more if you wanted it stronger?
Yes, so the great things about, one of the great benefits of individual pour-overs or at-home brewing is that you can adjust per taste. So you can put sometimes you can adjust the grind for the taste, especially in espresso, that technique's used, but with the French press, I would adjust either the amount of time that you're letting it sit and brew, or the amount of grinds that you use. First, I would start with adjusting the amount of time that you let it sit. And then if you want to get a little bit more focused in on the taste and the body of the coffee, then you can play with the amount of coffee that you use. But I would stay around 28 grams.
Okay.
So you just want to fill it about halfway.
Okay.
And then make sure you wet all of the grind. So you if you pull back on your hand a little bit, it'll go slower. Yeah, there you go. And just make sure you're kind of stirring it in there.
There's such an art to this.
It really is. in the coffee world, the more you know, the more you learn, the more you figure out you don't know. There's lots of opinions, and then I like to press down and just set right on top. We're not going to press yet.
Okay.
So you're going to let it sit for about 4 minutes. It's equivalent to tea, 3 to 4 minutes, depending on your taste, just like a tea bag. And then after that, you'll press, and it's ready to serve.
Okay, so it's been sitting for about 4 minutes.
Yep.
Just press really slowly.
Yep, that's it.
Okay.
And then it's ready to pour. All right, and I know a lot of people ask about cream and sugar, and are they not a real coffee drinker if they like cream and sugar in their coffee? Which some might have different opinions. In my opinion, I don't think that's the case. I love cream in my coffee, and actually, our which is what we just used is the blend. It's a specialty roast for our shop. It is full body, chocolatey undertones, and it's a darker roast. It is blended to complement milk well. So you've got that nice chocolatey taste, which is easily complemented with milk. So I enjoy milk in my coffee.
So do I.
Maybe
a little more than you do.
I don't prefer sugar, but I know some people do, which is 100% okay. No one's judging. At least at our shop, we're not. So, and later we'll talk about too a fun flavor that you can add to your coffee.
Okay.
All right, so next we're going to talk about the Chemex, which is my personal favorite brewing method, and we're partnering it with the electrical grinder, which again is my personal favorite. So this is my every morning routine. It is a bit time consuming, but I also appreciate that. I appreciate the time spent in the meditation of creating your coffee in the morning.
The ritual.
The ritual, great word, yes.
And so, do you sell these at your shop?
We do. We sell these to order. Every now and then we have them on retail. We also sell the filters to order as well, because these aren't readily available in grocery stores or different things like that. A lot of independently owned coffee shops sell Chemexes. It's not as well known of a brewing process, but it's definitely a really good one. So these are your filters. The filters are a circle, and they come already folded. But what you want to do is it has 4 layers. You want to take one layer, pull it back, and leave 3 layers on one side, which you want to put towards the neck of your Chemex. So this is the button, this is the neck, and this is the spout. So so earlier I said neck, you want to put it towards the spout.
Okay.
Be careful too when you're doing this brewing process not to touch the glass after you put the hot water. That's why this neck is here.
It's so pretty.
It is. I set it on my counter. It's really, really fun to do at dinner parties. People are always, wow, it's, because it's not as popular, it's really interesting. So what we want to do, like the pour-over, is wet the filter. This, once again, is removing any loose fibers from the filter, and it's also heating up the glass in the Chemex. One thing that I don't love about the Chemex is the fact that the coffee will cool fairly quickly. So this is a really important step, the fact that you heat the glass up, because if it's sitting, it's at room temperature, it's a bit cooler. If you do heat it up, it allows the coffee to stay warmer longer after you brew it. Okay. And then we're going to dump this out, the excess water. Okay. And then we will move on to our grinder. So this is, I may have mentioned before that this is a wonderful option for an electrical grinder. It's fairly inexpensive. It's very durable. You can adjust the grinds, which I really can appreciate, being one who uses multiple different brewing processes. You can also put it on a timer, so instead of having to manually do it or pay attention to how long that it's going, it's on a little timer and it'll grind for that time for the amount of coffee that you want. And there comes a really great manual that explains all of that, how many grams you get in how much time. So you can calculate that. I have it preset for the Chemex, and if you look closely, you can see it has a French press here, something like a Chemex there, and then an espresso. So you can grind espresso on this too, which is really rare for an at-home electrical grinder. So I have it a little past the Chemex because I like a bolder taste. So it's going to grind the beans a bit finer.
So the finer the grind, the bolder the taste. Okay.
Yep. So I have personally set it to that amount. So you just take off the lid, you add the beans, and I use coffee so frequently at home. In the shop, we are very intentional about not grinding beans or letting them out of their packages before they're used, usually within 24 hours after or less after grinding the beans. We serve them in a drip brew. If we do any of these, we grind them right before we serve it. And also, we keep our bags sealed the entire duration of having the coffee. If you do store coffee at home, I would say get a sealed container to keep it in. It'll just keep it fresher longer. I do pre-pour to fill this up because I drink coffee so frequently that it's okay that they sit in here. But just be intentional about preserving your beans.
So how do you feel about putting coffee beans in the freezer?
I knew that was coming. It absolutely has no effect on preserving it at all. Which is, once again, it's all opinion based. It depends on what, coffee researchers that you pay attention to and what they say. But what I have found in taste-wise is that it has absolutely no.
So it still it changes the bean as it sits in the freezer, just like it would if it were in your cabinet.
Right, okay. Yeah. So I like to fill it up. We drink coffee every morning. Once I fill it up, it'll take just a couple of days to get rid of the amount of coffee that's in there, so feel free to do that. Put the top on, and then I already have it preset, so you just push. Alright, so you just remove that, and then I just like to dump it. So we penetrate the center, allow it to move around. You can kind of see some bubbles coming up.
Oh, I do.
Yep. I like to avoid where the bubbles are pouring out. You definitely want to keep a consistent movement.
And that is where the acid is being released.
And just different airs and around the grounds. Okay, so fill it up. And I like to rest a little bit. Some people would continue pouring.
And just let it settle and then pour more.
Yep, so I don't let all of the water go before I start again, but I like to kind of begin to see the collection of grinds on the around. And
what would be the difference in pouring it all at once and letting it sit there?
That's debatable. Some people, it says it creates a more well-balanced cup of coffee. The grounds don't cool when you're consistently pouring, so it's a more consistent taste. It just all depends on who you talk to. Alright, so just kind of to give a synopsis of everything we've been over today, we have the Chemex, which today we did with the electrical grinder. We did it at a medium grind. It is a kosher salt consistency, and you want to do 6 tablespoons, and that is 42 grams.
Okay.
The French press, we today did an example of the hand grinder. You want that to be the coarsest type of ground, which is a large breadcrumb consistency, and that is 8 tablespoons at 56 grams. Then we have the Hario. We did a between coarse and medium grind with the mortar and pestle, and we did it is 3 tablespoons, and that is 21 grams. You want to do, so it's like a between breadcrumbs and kosher salt, so a small breadcrumb.
And then we're going to taste.
Now we're going to taste them.
So what would you suggest tasting first?
Go ahead and taste. I will go ahead and taste the pour-over, the Hario Pour-Over.
Okay. I'm going to tell you what I taste.
So smell it first. Tell me what you smell. And because we use the same bean, you're going to have very similar smells. The taste is really where you're
I don't know what I smell.
That's okay.
And I'm not a black coffee drinker, but I'm going to taste it.
Yeah.
I'm still not a black coffee drinker.
That's okay. A lot of times too, when tasting different coffees or espresso, you want to think about the taste buds on your tongue, which you have bitter in the back, sour on the sides. And then
I do taste the sour.
The sour bit? Sure. Yeah.
No,
And that's kind of what's lasting.
And is that going to be a lot different because the grind is so much coarser?
It can vary, definitely.
All right, so now I'm going to taste.
It also, that's where your roast comes into play, your undertones and your coffee beans, different things like that.
So this is definitely smoother.
Okay.
I still taste a little bit of bitterness or sourness. I think it's more bitterness.
Okay, sure. So too, what you're looking at is pulling out the undertones, which can be a little bit sour. They might have fruity undertones, the coffee that you have, and then this is smoother because you're not tasting as much as those undertones. What I really like to weigh in different brewing processes is the smoothness at the end, the boldness of the taste, and the fact that there's not an unpleasant lasting taste in your mouth.
And so why is it that when you put milk or cream in coffee, if you don't like it black, why do you then like it? Because I love coffee with cream.
And you know, I do too. I can taste some undertones better with milk, and that's just my personal preference.
This is definitely my favorite.
You like that one? That's my favorite too. And feel free to add cream to that because I definitely think with the boldness and less acidity, it pairs better with cream.
It must be the acidity that is what I don't like. And I could drink this more easily than the other two, but I still would prefer.
And when we say acidity and lack of acidity in a smoother, it's really how the taste dissipates after you drink it. It doesn't sit and last. That's where the acids kind of, accumulate in your mouth and leave that aftertaste.
Okay, so tell me about, now that we're talking about putting cream in the coffee, tell me about, I know you have people who come in your shop and some of them are really serious coffee drinkers and know exactly what they're looking for.
Sure.
And then you have those people who just want the Mexican mocha or the vanilla latte.
Sure.
So how do you feel about all that?
So we as a shop, we welcome everyone in whatever level of beverage enjoyment that they have. We like to educate people on the knowledge that we know. The coffee industry and world is very wide and broad, and a lot of people have a lot of different opinions on how things should be processed, roasted, blended, brewed, grind. But we as a shop, we really can appreciate every type of coffee drinker. We love to make fun flavors in-house. But we also love to make a great smooth cup of black coffee. We pride ourselves on not being judgmental or somewhat pretentious because we want everyone to feel welcome and feel like they can come enjoy whatever they choose in our shop. So, yeah.
Holly, thank you so much for coming and teaching us a little bit about coffee. I feel like I learned a lot.
Sure, my pleasure.
I'm going to continue to learn and come to your shop and ask you questions and buy a Chemex.
Yes, I think that's a great choice.
I just love the thought of coming down in the morning and having that nice, quiet ritual.
Sure, yeah.
For my coffee.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And thank you for stopping by.